This conference will now be recorded.
So, hi everyone. So, coming to welcome you all first of all to the class. So, before we start about our topics and all, so can anyone say like Ruchika, Arpit, Geeta? So, can you say what do you know about Selenium automation and all the stuff? First of all,
Hey, good evening. So regarding
yeah,
Selenium automation, I mean, definitely it's an open source tool with a set of jar files, and we use them for functional testing. We create a regression test suits using it. There are multiple frameworks available in the market, which we can try to incorporate in our Selenium suits. So I think, at least in my organization, we are using it as part of regression testing. So in order to, let go of manual stuff, we automate the flows and just go about it.
okay. How about others? How about others? How about others? So, this is the answer, right? Is everyone able to see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, it's visible.
Yeah. So, the first topic that we discussed is 1 minute. So as everyone knows, like, well, why automation testing is important, what is the purpose? So most probably people said it's saving time. It is used to make our life comfortable. Yes or no? Like as our friend Arpit Arora said.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. So yeah, Geeta, go ahead. So for the people who have joined the class or the session right now, the question that I have asked is, what do you know about automation? What is the purpose of automation? How it is helps? How does it help you? And why the word automation is becoming so trendy in the market? For the people who have joined just now, can anyone say? Abhishek, Punit, Murli, Geeta. Guys, this is a two-way session. This is not a one-way session. So I want everyone to talk and interact. So basically, automation testing is all about reducing time, making your work smarter. These are all the terms and terminologies you might have heard in the market, and why people prefer our automation and all the stuff. We will be going through all those points in the next couple of minutes. So, by this image, what you can understand or what you can depict of with the help of this image.
So it's in time saving.
Okay, then
In manual work under pressure.
okay, and
In automation, we can control too many tasks at the same time.
Okay, okay, okay. That's it. That's it, guys. So basically, life of a man. Yeah. Go ahead, Murli. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah. That application, all modules are perform fine, are functionally stable or not. We can do that automation. We can find it, and getting application for good in all modules are working fine. We can identify that for that we can do that automation is the application is good to all modules are working fine, so that we can do that automation. Then we can find that performance of application. So first we need to that automation is nowadays is very peaceful trend, like I think.
Okay, nice.
Thank you.
So as our friend said that it is too tedious, manual activities are too tedious when it approaches the go live time, whereas automated you can perform multitasking, you can chill around, you can feel around. But actually during the initial stage what happens means the life of an automation tester will be like this and life of a manual tester will be like this when the before the product, I mean once the application is not stable enough, because for automation team the application needs to be stable enough, the application needs to be somewhat so I have the functionalities which are working properly. So in the initial phase, automation team will be like this, under tremendous pressure to build the scripts in a proper way or something, and manual team will have a cool time in testing the application, understanding the application, getting the feel of the application. So once the project approaches the go live or once the product is being handed over to the customer, then you will see the reality of it. Okay, clear?
Yes.
Clear, everyone?
Yeah.
So what are the advantages of automation? So as our friend said, it's fast, and apart from that, if your script is robust enough, the scripts are reliable. That means it performs the same operations every time they run, thereby eliminating human errors. So suppose if you want to make 1,000 payments on an Amazon website, it is with a credit card. So there's a possibility that you will not pay the amount by instead of credit card, you pay by a debit card. So will that be an issue, right? Yes or no? When you do it, if you do it in a human manner.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm so sorry. So did you understand the concept of reliability, that it can perform the same operations each time they run? So the best example is when you're trying to purchase 1,000 cricket bats or 1,000 cloths of same type. So sometimes what happens, we might make a mistake in our selections. We might make some errors while performing the same set of activity. Whereas our scripts or bots that we prepare or design, they perform the same operation every time you run, no matter what. Clear? Clear?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So repeatable. That means what? If you perform a repeated set of actions on the same application, we can also get the idea or a visual of how the application is behaving under repeated execution. Okay? Clear, everyone?
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
So another advantage of automation is comprehensiveness. So provides the ability to build a suite of tests that covers every feature of the application. So once you have a robust automation framework built in place, then it always allows you to cover each and every hook and corner of the application once it is built properly. So once it gives you the ability to cover each and every part of the application, then it makes your life easier, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
So apart from the concept that the tools run significantly faster than manual process, better quality software. That means what? You can run more number of test cases in less amount of time, along with a reduced team size. So whenever the project goes past live, obviously you see a ramp up or ramp down of team. So when you see a ramp up or ramp down of team members, so what happens? what happens? We need to cover more test cases in less amount of time. So for a team working with small sizes, it is a bit difficult. But when you have automation suite ready and built in place, then it will always helps us to run those test cases whose functionality is working properly, and manual team can work on the scenarios where the application is prone to throwing errors, and add those kind of cases and hand it over to the automation team. Clear? Clear, everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So reusability. Once you write a code, the code becomes reusability. That means what? We can run the same code on different builds or different versions of the applications, even if the UI gets changes. So that is the whole purpose of automation. Suppose if you run the same code in integration environment, and if you run the same code in UAT environment, so what happens? You will get to know the differences. You will not get to know the behavior of the application in different environments, different infrastructures, different environments. Clear, everyone? You can also bring out the fixes that needs to be done in order to ensure that the functionality that is working in our local environments will be working the same in the higher environments. Clear? Clear?
Yes.
So another part of thing is cost reduction. When you have a reduced team size, obviously the cost spent on the testing team gets reduced, because lesser the team size, lesser the cost spent, right? So that way you can gain more profits, right? Yes,
Yep,
or no?
absolutely, yes.
So now you got the reason why companies are invested into automation. The main reason is cost reduction. How do they see the cost reduction factor here? So suppose you have a manual team of size 15 members. You can have a team of 15 members, right? A manual team of 15 members. Yes or no? Yes or no, guys?
Yes.
Whose salary per annum is 7 lakhs on an average. I'm not saying a senior or a junior. Okay, on an average. Yes or no? Yes or no, guys? Is it clear?
Yeah. Clear.
So what happens? The cost incurred on the project for the testing team is what? 15 into 7. How much does it cost? 1.05 CR. Yes or no? Yes or no, guys?
Yeah. Yeah.
So which is too much for a project on a testing team? That's how the service delivery managers think. The problem here is that the service delivery managers are always interested to spend the project money on development or R&D, but not this much on a testing team. Sometimes, not sometimes, most of the times, they feel like testing can be done by anyone. But there are a few exclusive companies in the market where they feel like both development and testing are the same. For example, the applications like you see the Dream11, the applications that you see like Google Pay, Phone Pay, all these apps, what they have done is they have invested the same amount of money on the development and invested the same amount of money on testing team. Because if the testing standards and testing methodologies are not done properly on application, then the application is prone to throwing a lot of bugs. So that is why development and testing are two eyes for a company with respect to any kind of a project. Clear? So 90 to
Yes.
95% of the service delivery managers, they see this cost as a huge thing. Now this is the scenario. Suppose you have 2 automation engineers and 5 manual testers. So cost of manual testing team is what? 5 into 7. 35 lakhs. Cost of 2 automation engineers, provided they are top notch. 2 into 20. Okay. I'm talking about top-notch automation engineers. Yes or no? Yes or no, guys?
Yes.
So how much will it cost? 75 lakhs. So 1.05 minus 75. How much the cost would be? A 30 lakh difference, right?
Yes.
So a 30 lakh difference on a project works out for them. Okay? Clear, everyone?
Clear.
So sometimes what they do is instead of 5, they take 4 most of the time because you have top-notch automation engineers. So they'll be like, okay, let's take less number of manual people so that I can save some money, like that. So clear, everyone? This is one sample analysis how our service delivery managers look at it of why automation is needed and why do you want them, because they believe that one automation engineer can help 4 manual testers. There's a 1:4 game happening from a service delivery point of view. That is why the companies these days are invested into automation, because it will reduce their budgets gradually on the testing side. Clear? Clear, everyone?
Clear.
So apart from the above points, it can also, the automation helps us
Yes.
in giving the, sorry, go ahead. Someone was talking. Arpit, you were asking something.
No, it wasn't me.
Okay. Someone has asked some question. Could you please repeat it? So, continuing my discussion. So, purpose of automation is that it can give a wider test coverage, and wider test coverage means scope to create a large number of complex automated cases along with their execution repeatedly. So, once you have a proper automation library built, it also helps the manual testers also to cover the areas which are not covered by automation team, and increase the scope of the scenarios or test cases in such a way that we can easily cover every way, every corner of the application and every way that we can tackle with the application. Clear? Accuracy. Automation scripts work with greater precision and lower errors than manual testing. So we have just now discussed about the resource optimization, right? Yes or no? Because automation team can work on the builds that are given on a daily basis, whereas manual team cannot test their smoke or regression on a daily build, because it is very difficult for them to do, because they have a set of daily activities that needs to be performed. That is where automation comes into picture, and it helps their life easier, makes their life easier. Clear? Clear, everyone? So manual versus automation test execution efforts. So basically what is happening? Is that, so is this graph self-explanatory for everyone, or should I explain this? Is this graph self-explanatory?
Yes, yes, it is.
So what did you understand by this graph, Arpit?
So basically, let's say
So
if we
the
take
graph.
full regression, so 1,000 test cases are being executed by manual testers, and the effort they are taking is nearly 160 hours, I believe. And the same thing is completed by automation efforts in 16 hours. So I think it's 1:10 kind of a ratio.
Mm, okay. Okay. So Sunil, go ahead. Okay. Geeta, go ahead, please.
Initially, we have to test more number of test cases in automation.
Mm-hmm.
By manual, initially 2 or 3 members is enough. Number of test cases also less.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah,
Mm. That's it.
yeah,
So
and that's
this yeah, this graph is about the test execution time. So when executing manual test cases, same test cases, how much time it is taking, and the same test cases while executing in automation, how much time it is taking. So that graph is showing here.
Okay. Okay. Nice. Nice. So basically, as our friend said that we are spending 2 hours. Generally, manual team spends 2 hours to execute 15 cases of smoke by prepare along with the preparation of evidences and submitting to the Azure report, Azure or any test management tool. Whereas automation team spends only zero point 0.2, that is around 15 to 20 minutes to finish the execution. So whereas coming to the full-blown regression, generally full manual team takes almost 20 days to finish a complete regression along with by testing it properly. Whereas once the automation suite is built for all those 1,000 cases, it will finish the execution in 2 days. Clear? But another problem with automation is team is that it will not find the bugs all the time. It can find the bugs which is within the scope. If something is away from the scope, then the manual team will come into picture and help them understand what are the bugs which are away from your script. Clear? Clear, everyone?
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So before you start your learning towards Selenium with Java, so these are the 5 different things that everyone needs to understand. What are the different 5 lessons about automation? Don't automate a mess. So whatever script you are preparing or whatever script you are trying to do, never ever create a mess of it. Okay? So why you should never ever create a mess? We should not become an automation engineer who don't understand the basic idea of testing, basic methodologies of testing. That is there. You should have a understanding of what is agile methodology, what is a scrum, what are the method, what are the activities that are going on in a current sprint. Because if you don't have the idea of all what is happening, then you can never become, then you can never understand what is happening. Automation engineer job is not only to automate the test cases, it's also we need to be in line within the system of the testing cycle. So if you are in line with the testing cycle only, then you can understand how the application is going, what are the phases that we are undergoing, etc. and all this stuff. So you should always be in touch with the manual team, and you should always need to have a grasp and sense of what is the testing methodology that being used. Okay. And third and foremost thing is that you can never ever do 100% automation. That is for sure. You can never automate them 100%. Okay, clear everyone?
Yes.
yes.
So why you can't do 100% automation is with the help of automation, we cannot automate any captchas, we cannot automate any OTPs, we cannot automate any image related processes, we cannot automate audio and video functionality. Yes or no? Yes or no, guys?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So avoid unnecessary complex logic in your scripts. So whatever logic you are maintaining, ensure that logic is readable for your peers who are reading your scripts. Make sure it is understandable. Okay? Don't try to create a mess whenever you're writing a code. Last and foremost thing is that tested automation is also a part of is a software development process. That means how much time do developers spend on building an application, the same amount of time test automation engineer also takes, because test automation engineers are not so adept in coding as developers. So we always take our time to get our feet into preparing the framework, building the suite and all the stuff, etc. Okay, clear?
Yes.
Any doubts? Because sometimes people say like overnight, overnight may you can build the scripts You can start executing them overnight. You can start doing things like hard and fast. So that is not the thing, right? Yes or no? Hmm?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So it also takes some time to build it. Once the setup is everything ready and built in picture, then it makes your life comfortable and easier. Okay? Clear, everyone?
Yeah, clear.
So, is everyone able to see this graph?
Yes.
So, what does this graph depict about?
So it basically depends initially at the start of the projects, the automation costs are the way a little higher than manual efforts, but then over a period of time, after multiple builds, it saves considerably the cost. So I
Mhm.
think cost gets reduced over a period of time.
Okay. How about others? How about
Hmm.
others?
Initially, we need in manual we need one or two members for testing, but end of the stage we need more testing members, manpower.
Hmm. Okay.
Hmm. In automation, it is almost
Hmm.
same number of requirements.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How about others?
In manual, you have to build that more scenarios. Depend between automation, you can less of building scenarios for automation. Cost of
Mm-hmm.
manual is high, automation is less.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. Anything else? No, that's it. Anything else, guys? Or that's the answer. So basically, what is happening means the more number of people that you add into the picture, the billing gets increased. So if the billing gets increased, then it's a lot on the service delivery guy, because always the service delivery guy, what he does is that he sees how much amount I can save from this project, how much amount I can ensure that it is saving, so that it is a profit for the company. If it's a profit for the company, then he'll have get a better pay next year. Yes or no? Yes or no, guys?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So service delivery guy holds a key here all the time in any kind of a project. Generally, we all say HR decides the pay scale and all the stuff. Actually, the service delivery managers who are working for a project will decide your pay, will decide whether to release that much amount, will spend that much amount on an employee or not. Okay, clear?
Yeah.
So before I go to the next topic, can anyone say why only Selenium is used in the market? Your views on why Selenium is used in the market apart from other tools?
Because of open source tool.
1 minute. Okay, open source. What is the other thing?
Supporting multiple languages, programming languages.
Hmm.
It's
Okay,
platform independent.
okay, and
Putting
It
different.
supports cross-browser and distributed testing.
Okay, you're saying Google or you're just telling it?
Yeah, I'm telling.
Yeah. Okay, and what else? And what else, guys? Hmm? And what else? How about others? That's it? So, cross-browser testing, platform independent, less hardware usage, and about flexibility, less hardware usage, supports cross-browser distribution testing, supports multiple programming languages, supports multiple browsers such as Chrome, Firefox, Edge, Opera, Safari, etc. Clear? Clear, everyone?
Yes.
So the real competitor for Selenium is Cypress. Always remember that. Have you heard the word called Cypress in the market? Hmm? Have you heard the word called Cypress in the market, guys?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So Cypress is one of the automation tools that is a competitor to Selenium. So both are open source, Selenium and Cypress. But still, why Selenium is leading is that because Cypress supports only Chrome and Firefox. And second thing is that Cypress only supports us to write the code in JavaScript, whereas our Selenium supports the programming language with Java, Python, Ruby, Perl, C hash, JavaScript, etc. Clear, everyone?
Yes.
Okay. So just now we have discussed about the disadvantages of automation, right? Why we can't do 100% automation? Yes or no? Since it is open, no dedicated support team is there for you. Clear? Clear, everyone?
Yes. Yes.
No dedicated support team for you. Because since it's open source, there won't be any dedicated support team. You have to go to the Selenium firms to get your issues resolved. And no inbuilt reporting mechanism. Hmm? Third party tools. Okay? Clear? Clear, everyone?
Yes.
Clear everyone? Image processing, fingerprint automation, cannot do audio and video testing. Clear? Clear everyone?
Yes, sir. So one disadvantage is it only supports to web
Suppose,
automation, right?
yeah, if you want to do mobile automation, then you need to use a tool called as Appium, which is a part of Selenium, which is derived from Selenium family. Clear? Clear everyone?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Need to know at least a programming language. Hmm? Okay. Last but not the least, one advantage of automation is suppose parallel testing. That means what? Suppose if you have 5 test cases in your suite, so generally what you do, you execute one test case after the other, right? Yes or no? In a real-time situation. Hmm? Yes or no, Sunil, Arpit, Geeta,
Yeah.
Murli?
Yes.
So now what happens? There is another way in Selenium where you can execute all those 5 test cases in a single go. Yes or no? There's a feature in Selenium which helps us do parallel testing. That means what? If you have 5 test cases, then you can execute all the 5 test cases in one single go. Okay?
Yeah.
Any doubts? Anyone? Any doubts? Anyone with respect to this concept of why Selenium is being used and all this stuff?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, good enough. So coming to Selenium, we also need to know the architecture of Selenium. Okay. One more disadvantage of Selenium I forgot to say. No direct integration. No direct integration with any test management tools such as clear clear everyone, clear everyone, what is Jira and all the stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So can anyone say what is the software development life cycle? What is the scene behind the software development life cycle?
So to develop any software, we have to follow SDLC model. So from start to end.
So what does this model do? What is the inline analysis behind the SDLC by seeing this image? What you can understand?
So when signing off on the project, so
Hmm.
we have to kickstart the project, like how many resource we need,
Hmm.
development, testing, and selecting engagement managers,
Hmm.
leaders, and resources, and then like gathering requirements and doing analysis on the requirements part, whether we
Hmm.
can develop and testable or not, and
Hmm.
also like a design which comes mainly the development will design like HLD and LLD uh, modular diagrams or flow diagrams. Then the
Hmm.
development team will design the actual source code, and that code will deliver to testing team for testing, and the it will be the deployment and maintenance final at the user.
Okay. 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 How about others? Any other people who can say more on this? Arpit, Geeta, Murli, Vishka.
So basically, this just defines various phases of development cycle.
Mm,
Starting right from requirement gatherings, analysis, and you go ahead and design. So all those phases. I mean, as per each phase, we'll have a certain testing time cycle as well. So
mhm,
similar to this, we have STLC going on. So this just depicts a project's, any particular development cycle. I mean, I don't think I have anything else to add. Uh, Pretty much, like the person who spoke just before me covered as well, whatever
mhm,
I'm saying. So
mhm,
yeah, I think that's pretty much about it.
mhm. Nice, nice, nice. So basically, I mean, coming to the point about the project kickoff initiation, requirements gathering. So basically, project kickoff initiation is done by the senior management persons in the company, where they bid for the project. They get to know what are they mostly pre-sales team will be part of the project kickoff and initiation, followed by the requirements gathering, where post sales team along with the seniors from each department, like from development, from testing team, will be part of this activity. So what do they do in general is that they'll gather all the requirements from the customers, and they will get the clear cut and understanding of what they need from this given software that you're building. And when it comes to analysis, what is happening in analysis phase? So we are analyzing what are how much efforts do we need to spend while for developing this project, and if there is an existing code for this project, and if the requirements are matching, like if there are similar requirements, then how much time we need to mend this so that we can deliver the same product. Okay, clear? And what are the softwares, what is the infrastructure that we need to use will be decided in the analysis phase. Okay. Once everything is done, then they design the wireframes, mock UIs, and the respective screens, which are essential for the developers to design the code, design the screens, and design the code. So development means the developers will start coding as per the framework and as per the design and analysis that they have done, as per the business requirements that they have. Once the development is completed, then they do a round of testing to check whether the application is working properly as per the needs or not. So afterwards, then the application is being deployed to higher environments, and then from there the maintenance activity starts to monitor whether how the application is working and how the activity is going on. Clear?
Yeah.
Any doubts? Any doubts? Anyone? Murli, Ruchika, Arpit, Sunil? Clear?
It's clear.
Mhm. Now coming to this STLC, the software testing lifecycle. So what does it do here?
So in the requirement analysis, we will get the requirements document for further study. So if requirements are clear, then we can start writing test scenarios and test cases. If not, those requirements are not clear, so we can have a meeting with the business analyst for the clarification. So then in the test planning, the test lead or project lead will write a test plan document. So in that document, we have a list of in scope items of out scope items for that testing to be follow. And in the
Mm,
test case development, so where we design scenarios, test scenarios and test cases, and
mm,
environment setup is like what environment we have to test and
mm,
actual test execution, and finally the test cycle closure, like the mapping between the requirements and test cases,
mhm,
how much we covered and how many bugs raised and closed.
mhm. So when do you give I mean, in addition to your point, when do we give for a closure, the test sign off or a test closure for this?
So when all the requirements have been developed and tested, and there are no more bugs we finding at the last stages.
Mm, okay, that's it.
Yes.
Okay. How about
And
us? Yeah, yeah.
yeah, we have like entry and exit criteria, right?
Mm, Yeah, yeah.
So when we met with all the exit criteria, we are giving sign off on the testing side.
Mm, okay. Okay. Nice, nice. How about others? How about others? How about others? So as our friend Sunil said about the software testing life cycle, it's all comes under the requirement analysis, the test planning. So basically, like how the development team has the requirement analysis, the testing team will be part of a lot of grooming sessions. They will analyze what are the things that is given for this project, and what in the test planning we all see how many resources do we need, what are the activities that needs to be performed for the particular sprint, how many sprints are planned, how many when there was suppose if there's a sprint backlog, what are the activities that we need to do or something like that. So once the planning is done, then they prepare the test cases based on the requirements and based on the design mock UIs or the wireframes that we receive. Once all that is done, then we go for an environment setup. What do you mean by environment setup is that for the testing team they'll be giving a separate environment, a separate thing which helps the testing team to test the application. So why testing team needs a separate environment? Because if you are working in the same environment, the developers are working, because developers are prone to changing the code in their development environment. They want to test and see what are the different kinds of changes, what are the different kinds of ideas that are happening. Okay, clear everyone? Clear everyone?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes.
test execution means they will execute the test cases. They'll execute the test cases. Clear? They'll execute the
Yes.
test and see. And test cycle closure means the team will decide what is the quality of the build, what is the health of the application, how is it. Based on that, they will close. They will say whether the application is good to go for next level or they will block it, saying that unless and until these issues are fixed, we are not gonna sign off for this test. We are not gonna sign off the product. So Iqbal, what is your doubt? Hello. So anyone has any doubts with respect to STLC?
No.
Anything else? That's it. Can we go to the next thing, guys? Sunil, Arshad.
Yes, sir. Yeah. No questions.
So this is the Selenium architecture. What is the Selenium suite? What is the architecture of this Selenium suite? So basically, under the Selenium suite, we have the tools such as Selenium IDE, Selenium RC, Selenium WebDriver, Selenium Grid. In the recent days, in the JDs that you see, they will say like Selenium WebDriver. Hope you have seen a lot of automation JDs in the market, right? What is the Selenium WebDriver and all the stuff? Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
So sometimes people ask you about Selenium Grid during the interviews. But this is the whole Selenium suite family. Selenium IDE, Selenium RC, Selenium WebDriver and Selenium Grid. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So Selenium IDE is one of the first tools that is invented by the Selenium. I mean the person called as Jackson or Jason, I'm not so sure, in the year 2004. So that person, he was fed up of doing a lot of manually the unit testing process. So what he done, he has invented a concept called as Selenium. So by the time in 2004, what was happening means it was the era of UFT tool, QTP tool, sorry. Those days that known as QTP tool. QTP tool was one of the automation tools that are used in those days. What is happening with the QTP tool is it's one of the licensed versions now also. People refer it as UFT right now. QTP is known as UFT right now. So it's a paid version, paid tool, paid automation tool. That means what? It is the cost of a license of the tool is 10 lakhs per user. That is costlier, one of the costliest tools in the market. So what is happening is the person is not willing to spend that much amount of money on that. So what he has done, he has prepared his own tool called as Selenium. Why the word Selenium has come? Any guesses, anyone? Why the word Selenium has come into the market? Hmm? Any guesses why the word Selenium has come?
No, sir.
So actually, in the olden days, the Greeks said that in the olden days, you have heard the diseases were occurring due to a lot of mercury. I mean, in the olden days, there were a lot of mercury factories in the market. So what happened? The people were suffering a lot of diseases due to mercury, right? Yes or no? I mean, if you don't know, that's fine. But have you heard of this anytime? The diseases people were suffering due to diseases because of mercury. Arpit, Sunil.
No, sir.
So actually, mercury diseases means there's a lot of factories and industries in the olden times. What were happening is they were using excessive mercury than expected. So what happened? People who were working in the factory, they were suffering a lot of breathing problems, respiratory problems, and all those stuff. So in order for that, the antidote was called as selenium. It is a chemical that is used as an antidote to tackle all the mercury related issues chemically. So what happened? The QTP tool was developed by Mercury Systems in those days. So that is why this person has named as a selenium, which is the antidote to mercury. Clear? I mean, story sounds a bit stupid, but this is the original reason why the word selenium has come into picture. Okay, clear everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So selenium is like a antidote to mercury. So that is why the person named as selenium. Okay, clear everyone?
Yes.
Now what I want everyone to do is for tomorrow's session, I want everyone to install Selenium IDE. Selenium IDE is an extension. Okay. I want everyone to install Selenium IDE for Chrome for the tomorrow's class. Clear everyone? So click
Clear.
on the Selenium IDE link. So Selenium IDE is the extension. If you have not installed the extension, it will be showing add to Chrome. Since I've already installed the extension, it will be removed from Chrome. Clear? By tomorrow, everyone should have this extension installed in their browsers. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Do you guys have any more doubts? Because we have 2 minutes left. If anyone has any doubts, you can ask them now.
No, I think we are good.
Okay. So we'll regroup tomorrow then.
Sir, I have one question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, using Selenium, so the job opportunities are more for Selenium with Java or Selenium with another language
So
like
actually
C
in
Sharp,
India,
Python.
Selenium with Java has more opportunities. If you see the JDs and all, and if you're from abroad, then Selenium with Python you'll have more opportunities, because in the abroad people mostly use Python. But actually, to be honest, if you are using Selenium with Java, most of the applications are built on Angular or something like that, more of a JavaScript side, right? So when you are using a Java program, it is very easy to handle the JavaScript commands that are used in the browser. So Python, Selenium with Python and Selenium with Java are one of the most in-demand opportunities that you have in the market. So Selenium with Java is always number one, followed by Selenium with Python. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay. And one more, sir. I have heard like recently one tool called Tosca, so which is replacing Selenium.
There
So
is
do you
that
have any idea? Yeah.
can't replace Selenium because it's a paid tool at the end of the day.
Okay. Okay.
After 30 days
Okay.
of free trial, it is a paid tool.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. That's it, sir.
Selenium
For
is
me.
open source because if in order to for Tosca to beat Selenium, they have to become open source first of all. They won't.
Okay.
Hmm. Clear?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Hmm. Because Selenium is the only automation tool which supports maximum number of browsers. Not even Tosca can support those many browsers.
Okay.
So shall we regroup tomorrow then?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay then.
Hello, I have one
Yeah,
question.
go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, that Java version, which version we need to?
I will discuss in tomorrow's class, Murli. Tomorrow I'll show
Yeah,
you which one to follow, which one to set up and all. Okay.
fine,
Thank you.
fine. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.